Imagine this moment as clearly as you can. You're going about your day, calm, focused, maybe even feeling good about yourself, and then out of nowhere, someone says something that hits you in a way you didn't expect. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's subtle, almost hidden inside a joke or a passing comment, but you feel it immediately. That slight sting. That shift in your chest. That tightening in your thoughts. And suddenly, everything changes. Your mind begins to race, replaying what was said, analyzing the tone, questioning the intention. You start asking yourself, was that disrespect? Should I respond? If I stay quiet, will I look weak? And before you even realize it, you're no longer present. You're caught in a mental battle, trying to protect your pride, your image, your sense of self. But here's the truth most people never realize. In that exact moment, the real danger is not the disrespect itself. It's your reaction to it, because the moment you lose control of your response, you give away something far more valuable than your pride. You give away your power. And in this video, you're going to learn how to take that power back using just one sentence. Simple, calm, and incredibly effective. But more importantly, you're going to learn how to become the kind of person who cannot be shaken, cannot be provoked, and cannot be controlled by anyone else's words. And if you want more content that builds this level of mental strength, discipline, and emotional control, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because what you're about to learn is not just advice, it's a transformation. Disrespect doesn't hurt because of what is said on the surface, it hurts because of what it touches beneath the surface. When someone disrespects you, they are not just speaking words, they are pressing against your identity, your self-image, and your internal sense of worth. That's why even a small comment can feel so heavy, because it connects to something deeper inside you. It challenges how you see yourself and, more importantly, how you believe others see you. And as human beings, we are wired to care about that. We want to be respected. We want to be acknowledged. We want to feel valued. So when someone dismisses us, criticizes us, or speaks to us in a way that feels degrading, our mind immediately interprets it as a threat, not a physical threat, but a psychological one. And in response, your brain activates a defensive mode. It prepares you to fight back, to correct the situation, to restore your image. But here's where Stoic wisdom shifts everything. It teaches that the real problem is not what was said, it's how much authority you give those words over your mind. Because if someone's opinion can disturb your peace, then your peace is not truly yours, it is dependent on them. And that is a dangerous place to live. The Stoics believed that your inner state should not be controlled by external events or other people's opinions. They understood that the more you rely on outside validation, the more vulnerable you become to outside criticism. So the goal is not to eliminate disrespect from your life. That's impossible, but to eliminate its power over you. And that begins by understanding that words only have the meaning you give them. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, here is the sentence that can completely change how you handle disrespect, how people perceive you, and how you carry yourself in difficult situations. You're entitled to your opinion. At first glance, it might seem too simple, almost underwhelming. You might even think, that's it. But don't let its simplicity fool you, because this sentence carries a level of psychological strength that most people never develop. When you say this, you are doing something incredibly powerful. You are acknowledging the other person's perspective without accepting it, without fighting it, and without allowing it to affect your emotional state. You are drawing a clear boundary between their thoughts and your identity. You are saying, in the calmest way possible, you can think whatever you want, but it does not define me, and it does not control me. And that is what makes this response so effective. It doesn't escalate the situation. It doesn't invite further conflict. It doesn't expose insecurity. Instead, it communicates confidence, self-assurance, and emotional control. It shows that you are not dependent on their approval, and you are not threatened by their opinion. And perhaps most importantly, it removes the very thing they were expecting from you, a reaction. Because most people who disrespect others are not just expressing an opinion, they are seeking a response. They want engagement. They want emotion. They want to pull you into their frame. But when you calmly respond with detachment, you deny them that satisfaction. And in doing so, you quietly take back control of the situation. To truly understand the power of this sentence, you have to understand the nature of human interaction. Most conversations, especially tense ones, operate on emotional exchange. One person says something, the other reacts, and the energy escalates. It becomes a cycle, reaction feeding reaction, emotion feeding emotion, until both people are no longer communicating clearly, but simply trying to overpower each other. This is where most people lose. Not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack control. But when you respond with something like, "You're entitled to your opinion," you break that cycle completely. You step outside of the emotional exchange. You refuse to participate in the escalation. And this creates a shift, an immediate and noticeable shift. Suddenly, the other person has nothing to push against. Their words lose momentum. Their energy has nowhere to go, and in that moment, they are forced to confront something they didn't expect: your calmness, your composure, your refusal to be affected. And that is deeply unsettling for someone who was trying to provoke you. Because it reveals that they do not have control over you. And when people realize they cannot control your emotions, they often lose interest in trying. This is why calm detachment is one of the most powerful forms of strength. It is quiet, but it is undeniable. It doesn't demand attention, but it commands respect. And over time, as you consistently respond this way, people begin to see you differently. They see you as someone who cannot be easily shaken, someone who doesn't react impulsively, someone who operates from a place of inner stability. And that kind of presence changes everything. At the end of the day, you have to accept something that many people spend their entire lives trying to avoid. You cannot control what others say, think, or do. People will judge you. They will misunderstand you. They will project their own insecurities, frustrations, and limitations onto you. That is simply part of being human. But what you can control, completely and absolutely, is how you respond. And that is where your true power lies. Because your response is not just a reaction, it is a reflection of who you are. It shows your level of awareness, your level of discipline, and your level of self-mastery. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't rush to defend yourself. Don't feel the need to prove anything. Don't let their words pull you into a place of emotional chaos. Instead, pause, breathe, create a moment of space between what was said and how you choose to respond. And then, with complete calm and certainty, say, "You're entitled to your opinion." And leave it there. No explanation, no argument, no attachment, just quiet confidence. Because when you can do that, when you can remain steady in the face of disrespect, you are no longer reacting to the world, you are mastering yourself. And if you're serious about becoming that kind of person, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now, because this is where we build not just knowledge, but discipline, strength, and a mindset that cannot be broken.